you know, someone said that if you work and your job is the best job that you can do, you never work another day, no? And I think that is very important, because a winery is something very beautiful, because you make what the people use to celebrating something. And
exciting. We tasted your wines a few weeks ago, so it's finally great to actually hear you talk and explain your family and your bottles and your region. For so many people, when they think of sparkling wine, they think of celebrating. Can you share some of your favorite memories that include a wonderful sparkling wine celebration?
yes, and thank you very much for your invitation. I very happy to talk about Revi and my family, and something of my world. One of the best one of the best memories that I remember of celebration with sparkling wine with Trentodoc was my 30 party. Because I invited a lot, really a lot of friends. The bottles can one by one on the floor, can go around the house. So there were a lot of it, but the most important thing was the joy, the happiness, and the very happy to enjoy that party. That's important time in my life, because the 30s, you have to start some job. You are not so young, but you are young, and very, and I think that is like Trentodoc is like a sparkling wine, because is in the history, the sparkling wine was the best product just to celebrating something. But I really love it with Trentodoc, with sparkling wine. For sure, had to be very important, and so celebrating some like my birthday or other important thing in a life is one of the best thing that we producer of that kind of product can make, because we work. Our life is producing something where with the people enjoy the best highlights of the life. So what's better? And one of my best memories is for sure my 30th birthday party.
I love that. That's a really good idea, just celebrations of life. And if you think, you mentioned celebrating with your family a second ago, and you have a really unique family story because you're a second generation sparkling winemaker. You and your brother Stefano,
Mhm.
can you talk a little bit both about Paolo, who founded
Yes.
Revi Winery back in 1982?
Mhm.
Um, since you're 30, I guess you weren't around quite then, but tell me a little bit about Paolo and a little bit about what it's like growing up in a winemaking family.
Yes. Paolo, my father, for me is a very like a comet star, because when I was young, I never wanted to go on with the winery, because it's funny to know, because today is my life. Sometimes I don't know if is my girlfriend is the winery, or Francesca is my real girlfriend. So it's very match perfect now with my life and with my private life. And you know someone said that if you work and your job is the best job that you can do, you never work another day, no? And I think that is very important, because a winery is very old, because ask you many times as many other works, But as I said in the first time of this interview, is something very beautiful, because you make what the people used to celebrating something. And I remember my father Paolo, when talk about the wine and produce the wine, his eyes is very brilliant, no, are brilliant. So it's shining a lot, and that this shine is the first things that was useful for me to start and work in the wine industry, in the winery. I remember that Paolo said us to do what we want to do, not follow the winery, because it was his passion, not the first job. He said, this is my passion. I want to work with Revi as a passion. No, in fact, for 30 years was not his job. He started when he was 13 years old. He was in a classroom with only females, and during the technique subject, he found a book with an article on Dom Perignon. Then he was 13 years old. Came at home and asked to my grandfather some white wines, because we were an agricultural family. And he said, I want to make the champagne, no? And my grandfather laughed a lot, because said, what, you're like we said in Italy, you are a boccia. Is in Trentin dialect is a young boy, no? But he said, okay, you can bring a very small batch of it and try. My grandmother make the bread each week, and so Paolo asked to my grandmother some yeast and puts inside with the sugar. After a couple of weeks, he went again in the winery. I found all the bottles with the cork out, pop it out, and wine on the floor. He said, why? He read again and found that he had to lock the cork, not to cork like still wine with iron metal. And at the end of the 1963, so the Christmas 1963, my family enjoyed the holiday of Christmas with that kind of metodo champenois, because in Italy also in that time we could name the method champenois, but the classic method with the second fermentation in the bottles. And so after that, he studied enology school, and then he found he started with the Revi in 1982, and for 30 years was his hobby. And for this, I believe, was one of the best important thing that permits to grow up the very passion in my brother Stefano and in me, because it's never forced not to follow that. But we both studied economy, no? And but inside me, I remember many memories about my grandmother, and when she take the broth to the people who help my father in winery. I have some memories that is between the brain and the heart, and that, I believe, permise was the first seed to grow up the very passion. And that is the way. After that, okay, coming to the more specific activity that we made in winery is that my brother Stefano, that is the producer manager, follow, and me for sure, because we tasting all the time with my family together. We are looking for a very clean, a very fresh, a very identity wine of our region. No, so the what the best thing that I believe our father give us is that way to read the wine world, no, and this is the identity, and we always want to find in our Revi our territory. He was the first one of the first to produce the zero dosage. We have been producing the zero dosage or pas dosé, no? You know that is the same since 1983. The first harvest of the first vintage of Dosaggio Zero Revi was the 1981. So it's very, very uncommon for that period. For 5 years ago was uncommon, made 40 years ago, no? And I believe inside that particular label is hide the philosophy of our winery, and we want to go on with that. So the second generation, that is me and my brother Stefano, for sure we want to follow that.
And I may be digging when there's nothing here to dig, but when you're studying economics, my perception is there's a lot less magic in economics than there is in sparkling.
Yeah, for sure.
So was there a moment when you realized I need more magic? Do you remember that moment, or did that moment not happen?
Yes, I remember. I really remember. I love economics, and I remember that when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I helped my father in vineyard. I don't like. I didn't like because that is very, very warm. It's some activities very slow, you know, and some of our my friends go to swimming pool, and I had to help my father. So I said, why? I want my office, my shirt and air conditioning, you know, and not stay here. But at the end, you know, I really love stay with the people, try to find something magic, because you know all start from a piece of wood that increase a lot and arrive at the end in a bubble, in the most beautiful moment, that you put that wine in a glass and enjoy with your friends, with your family. And so I think there is not a very clear moment when I changed my mind and said, okay, no economics, but winemaking for sure. But all start and each day, you know, grow up. For sure, I made the commercial part of the winery, and so the economics is important. It's difficult to say, okay, now economics in a winery. I think I found my very good way to have a little bit economics and stay in one of the best world, because one of the very thing that I said and told always to my friends and my girlfriend, I said, we are working for something that the others work for the Saturday night or the Friday night. No, that is super beautiful, because celebrating, no, the best thing I believe to enjoy the life is to celebrating also the small things, and the small things could be a simpler pizza with big friends. No, I said simple pizza, not because pizza is simple, it's one of the best important foods that we have, but it's not only if we have crystal glass, no, but we can enjoy the moment for sure. With the right food and the right drink, you enjoy much better.